That's exactly how Jack felt. Every morning, the alarm would blare at 4:30 a.m. He'd pull on his uniform, grab a quick coffee, and head out to start his shift driving the city bus. The route was always the same. The traffic was always a headache, and the passengers were a blur of tired faces and hurried footsteps. Jack wasn't a bad person. He was just worn out. He'd been driving this route for 10 years, and the dream of a promotion, a better route, maybe even a desk job at the depot, felt more distant than ever. His supervisor, Mr. Henderson, was a stickler for the rules. On time, every time, no exceptions. Every minute counted, and being late meant a black mark on your record. Jack had a clean record, and he intended to keep it that way. One particularly grey Tuesday morning, the rain was coming down in sheets, the kind of rain that makes everything feel a little more miserable. Jack was running his route, already 5 minutes behind schedule thanks to a fender bender on Elm Street. He was stressed, tapping his fingers on the steering wheel, his eyes darting between the clock and the road. Every red light felt like a personal insult. As he pulled up to the stop at Oaken, Maine, he saw her, an elderly woman, huddled under a small, flimsy umbrella that was losing its fight against the wind and rain. She was still a good 50 yards away, moving as fast as her frail legs could carry her, one hand clutching a worn-out grocery bag. Jack's finger hovered over the button to close the doors. The schedule screamed at him. Henderson's stern face flashed in his mind. 5 minutes late was bad, but 7 or 8, unthinkable. He could just go. No one would blame him. He was already behind. She should have been at the stop on time. All the excuses were right there, ready to be used. But then, he looked at her again. He saw the determination on her face, the way she was struggling against the elements just to do something as simple as catch a bus. He saw his own grandmother in her eyes, frail but fierce. And in that split second, Jack made a choice. He took his finger off the button, leaned back in his seat, and waited. The other passengers started to grumble. A man in a suit checked his watch and sighed loudly. A young woman in the back put her headphones on, but not before shooting Jack an annoyed look. He felt a familiar knot of anxiety tighten in his stomach, but he ignored it. He just watched the old woman get closer and closer, one slow, deliberate step at a time. When she finally reached the bus, she was completely soaked and out of breath. She fumbled in her purse for the fare, her hands shaking from the cold. "Take your time," Jack said, his voice surprisingly gentle. He hadn't meant to say it, but the words came out anyway. She looked up at him, her face full of surprise, and then immense gratitude. She dropped her coins into the machine and slowly made her way to an empty seat near the front. As she sat down, she turned to him. Her eyes, a pale clear blue, seemed to look right through him. "Thank you, young man," she whispered, her voice a little shaky. "In this world of rush, 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 you chose to be kind. May your day be filled with unexpected blessings. May your path be cleared, and may you find the reward you seek." Jack just nodded, a little embarrassed. He mumbled a "you're welcome," and pulled the bus back into the relentless traffic. The rain was still drumming on the roof, the traffic was still a nightmare, and he was now a full 10 minutes behind schedule. He was sure he'd be getting a call from Henderson as soon as he got back to the depot. The old woman's words were nice, a sweet sentiment, but blessings, a cleared path. That was the stuff of fairy tales, not the gritty reality of a Tuesday morning commute. He dropped her off a few stops later. As she got off, she turned and gave him a small, warm smile. And then she was gone, swallowed up by the rain. Jack finished his route, the weight of his tardiness hanging over him. He braced himself for the lecture, the write-up, the disappointment. He parked the bus, logged his time, 10 minutes late, just as he'd feared, and walked toward the supervisor's office, feeling like a student heading to the principal's office. He knocked on Henderson's door. "Come in," a gruff voice called. Jack pushed the door open and stood there, ready for the worst. But Henderson wasn't looking at the schedule printout. He was smiling, a wide, genuine smile that Jack had never seen before. "Jack, just the man I wanted to see," Henderson said, gesturing to the chair in front of his desk. Sit down, sit down." Jack sat, confused. "Listen," Henderson continued, leaning forward. "You know old Mr. Abernathy, the supervisor for the Uptown Express routes? Well, he put in his retirement papers this morning, came right out of the blue. We've been scrambling to find a replacement. Someone reliable, someone with a perfect record, someone who knows the system inside and out." Henderson paused, looking Jack right in the eye. "Your name was at the top of my list. The job's yours if you want it. Better pay, regular hours, no more rainy mornings dealing with city traffic. What do you say?" Jack was speechless. He just stared at his supervisor, his mind reeling. The Uptown Express route was the best gig at the depot, the promotion he'd been dreaming about for a decade. It couldn't be real. He must be dreaming. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. Henderson chuckled. "I know it's sudden, but the offer's on the table. You've earned it, son. Your 10 years of perfect attendance and on-time performance, well, mostly on time, have paid off." He winked, and Jack realized Henderson wasn't even going to mention the 10-minute delay from that morning. It was as if it never happened. As Jack walked out of the office, the promotion paperwork clutched in his hand, he felt a sense of disbelief. The rain had finally stopped, and a sliver of sun was breaking through the clouds. He thought about the old woman, her frail figure fighting against the wind, her clear blue eyes, her whispered words. "May your day be filled with unexpected blessings. May your path be cleared." It was just a coincidence, right? A lucky break. Abernathy's retirement had nothing to do with him waiting for an old woman in the rain. And yet, he couldn't shake the feeling. That small act of patience, that moment of kindness in a day full of stress and rush, had somehow shifted the universe just a tiny bit in his favor. It cost him 10 minutes on a schedule that no one even cared about in the end, but what he gained was immeasurable. Jack realized that the old woman had given him more than just a blessing. She had given him a reminder that sometimes the most important schedules aren't the ones on paper. Sometimes the most valuable currency isn't time, but kindness. And sometimes the greatest rewards come not from rushing ahead, but from having the patience to wait. From that day on, Jack was a different kind of driver. He still kept his schedule, but he also kept an eye out for those who were running a little behind. He learned that a moment of compassion is never a waste of time, because you never know when a simple act of kindness will clear your own path and lead you to an unexpected blessing waiting just around the corner. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that inspires. We all have the power to make a difference, one small kind act at a time. See you in the next video.